Hello everybody, so I just got back in from a nice 10K run and I'm rehydrating myself with some water here. Before I went out for the run I didn't have breakfast, and it's not necessary when you're doing a short-term run. In fact, it's better if you don't have breakfast, because when you eat something, well, your body requires energy to digest it and it kind of interferes with a nice clean run. So, but what I would like to talk about is running, excess weight, and injury. And the reality is, if you're overweight and you're just, starting up running because you want to lose that excess weight that you've acquired over the years, and running obviously seems like the way to do it, right? Yes and no. The reality is, when you're running with a lot of extra weight, even a little bit of extra weight, you are at a higher risk of injuring yourself, and like knee injuries, for example. And they're terrible things to have happen to you. I mean, it basically puts you out of commission for a very long time, and for some people, they never quite get it back again. So if you're wanting to shed the pounds, the excess weight, and running, it seems like something you can get into, then I would recommend by starting off by doing power walks. Get yourself a decent pair of runners and just power walk for a while. Get used to, especially if you haven't really been that active for a number of years. You don't just want to jump into something like running. Even mild running can be hard on the body if you're carrying all that extra weight. I mean, just get yourself a 10-pound weight or a 20-pound weight and lift it and try running around with that. Don't do it, but just try to visualize yourself running around with that extra weight. Well, that's kind of what it's like on your body. I mean, it may be more evenly distributed, but it's still there. And your body is experiencing the impact of that extra weight. And it doesn't matter how fancy your runners are or how thickly padded the sole is, that will not protect you from the impact. In fact, too much sole, especially on the heel, can have the opposite effect, and that's a whole other video. But I actually, the runners that I choose are minimal in terms of padding on the sole. Anyhow, what really is key here? Okay, you've got extra weight, you want to lose it. Now, when I started running back in 2003, I was about 40-50 pounds overweight, and I got turned on to running and pushed myself really hard in the beginning and got myself to the point where I could do a half marathon. I ran a half marathon in 2 hours and 5 minutes. And I did lose about 10 pounds or so, but I was still carrying a lot of extra weight. And then after doing the half marathon, I was excited about that. I pushed myself even harder so I could do a full marathon, and that's when I injured myself. And I was completely out of commission. In fact, I was using a cane for the next 2 weeks. After that, it was rehabilitation, recovery. My running was not the same anymore. I tried to get back into it, but every time I did, the injury would come back. And that's the thing, when you have an injury, you can't work through it. You gotta let it heal. You gotta let it recover. And that means stop running. But I was very stubborn. I just wouldn't listen. And at a certain point, I just had to say enough. Running is just not working for me. I ended up doing hot yoga for the next couple of years, no running at all. And that really made a huge difference in the rehabilitation aspect. And anybody who tries to tell you that you don't get a workout doing hot yoga, they have no clue. They've never done hot yoga. Now I'm talking the Bikram style 90-minute sessions of hot yoga. It's a workout. There's no doubt about it. Try it. You will. I mean, the first time doing it, I was completely fried. I couldn't believe how intense it really was. Anyhow, that's getting back onto running. Yeah, so start it off slowly. Just gradually ease yourself into it. That's what you have to do. And you know, when it comes to weight loss, running alone will not be enough. And this is something else that I didn't realize at the time when I took up running back in 2003. I was not, I didn't do anything to change my diet. I was eating a lot of high-fat foods, rich foods, like a lot of meat, a lot of dairy, a lot of eggs, and then a lot of junk food around that, drinking alcohol. I didn't change my diet at all. I just thought, you know, just by, you know, doing a lot of running, I would lose all that weight. But the thing is, as you get older, that just doesn't work anymore. So it wasn't until I started following a plant-based diet that I saw the real changes happening. And what a plant-based diet is giving up, first of all, it's giving up something. It's giving up all the meat, the dairy, all the animal products, anything that's an animal product, give it up. You don't need it. You don't need it nutritionally. And replacing it with, now it's not just enough to start eating a plant-based diet, but it's what you eat. You want to also reduce the amount of fat that you're taking in as well. So I brought my fat levels by eating a lot of rice and potatoes and the various kinds of beans and lentils and all the different varieties of vegetables and fruits. I brought my fat intake down between 10 to 20%. Which is pretty low compared to what the average person eats. I was averaging between 10 and 15% actually. And the weight loss was rapid at that point. And I hadn't even started running again. So once I was completely recovered and my knees were strong enough, I was able to run again. And so the combination of a plant-based diet and running has been a wonderful way to keep the weight off, to maintain my physical fitness, and just, I love running. It's lots of fun. And since then I've ran numerous marathons and half marathons and even beyond marathons. I've done a lot of running, and now I've taken up cycling and I've really gotten into that. Just last Saturday I rode 170 kilometers, which is a new record for me. Again, I'm probably pushing myself, and that, you know, so I kind of speak like a hypocrite here when I'm telling you, don't push yourself, just ease into it, take it easy. But seriously, learn from a fool. I have injured myself, and it's not pleasant. It just completely puts you out of commission, and you don't want that to happen. So on your way to health and fitness and weight loss, plant-based diet, low fat, and ease into it, listen to your body, and before you know it, you will be running those marathons. Take care and have a great day.